Hello, boys and girls. I have a story today about one of my favourite autumn animals. Those of you who know me longer know that that is a squirrel. That's right. This story is called Happy Little Squirrel. There he is. Look, the little squirrel. He looks quite happy. Little Squirrel was always happy. For one spring and one summer, he lived in a beautiful tree house. Here's the tree house, look. And there's Little Squirrel. Can you see him? When autumn came, Little Squirrel began to collect pine cones for the winter. One day, while he was away from his house, a heavy rainstorm struck. Oh dear. The wind and the rain battered his tree house. It fell to the ground and broke in lots of pieces. Little Squirrel spent the night sheltering near a big rock. Here he is, look, next to a big rock. When Little Squirrel woke up next morning, he felt sad. His tree house was gone. Where would he live now? Not quite such a happy squirrel today. As he stared up the sky, he saw a tree with a hole in it. That would be a perfect house, Little Squirrel thought. Here he is, a big hole in the tree. He put some leaves on the floor and nailed a sign to the tree. You see what the sign says? Little Squirrel lives here. Leaves in the tree, in the hole in the tree. One day, Little Squirrel found a tiny bird whose nest had fallen from a branch. Little Squirrel took her to his new home and looked after her. Then he met a rabbit with an injured paw. The rabbit came to stay with Little Squirrel's home too. A bird and a rabbit. Here's the bird. Soon Little Squirrel's hole in the tree was filled with animals who were hurt or needed a place to live. It was nice and warm, cozy shelter where the animals knew they would be welcome. Little Squirrel loved it when his new friends sang songs together and they shared their stories. His home became their home. As the weather began to turn cold, Little Squirrel had a new visitor. It was Fox. He was not injured or lost, but Little Squirrel invited him in to come inside. Here's Fox, a little squirrel in his house. The fox didn't sing and he didn't share his stories. He just ate, slept all day and night. The next day when Little Squirrel went out, the fox sent all the other animals away from Little Squirrel's home. When Little Squirrel came back, the fox wouldn't let him in. "This is my new home now," said Fox. Oh dear. This is not good news at all. It's not very kind of Fox either. Little Squirrel was homeless once again. All his friends were angry, but Little Squirrel stayed calm. He was sure he could find them another home before winter came. Fox in Little Squirrel's home, and Little Squirrel with a tortoise here. They're going to look for a new home. A friendly eagle heard about Little Squirrel's problem. She took Little Squirrel to see a cave in the mountainside. "This is the best house ever," cried Little Squirrel. His friends bought him lots of gifts when he moved into his new home. Here's the eagle, and he shows him the cave here in the rocks. One frozen winter day, Little Squirrel heard crying. He looked outside his cave and saw Fox trembling with cold. "My tree, it blew down in the wind. My hole is gone," sobbed Fox. "Can I please stay here with you?" This is the cave home, and here we see Fox crying. And you see Little Squirrel here, you see Rabbit here. Oh, do you think they'll let him in? Do you think they'll let him stay? Let's have a look. Before Little Squirrel could answer, the Rabbit spoke up. "Will you tell everyone that this is Little Squirrel's house and promise not to take it for yourself?" asked the Rabbit sternly. The Fox wrote his promise on a leaf, but the leaf broke. He tried to write it in the snow and the ice, but it melted when he touched it. Here he is, trying to write his promise down. He's still crying, look, Mr. Fox. So the fox told everyone that it's Little Squirrel's house, and the Rabbit recorded his words. "Thank you," said Little Squirrel kindly, and the Fox blushed bright red. Everyone was welcome in Little Squirrel's house. What do we see here? We see Fox blushing. We see Rabbit with a recording machine. A tape recorder, I think. And they lived happily ever after in the rock cave rock home of Squirrel. Well, it's nice to share, isn't it? Well, that was my story for today. Thank you.